just a bit of cultural awareness. It's a bugbear of mine that if you are in a meeting, there's an acknowledgement of country. The next person doesn't have to acknowledge country. The person after that, don't worry, it's been done. The person after that, don't do it. It's been done twice already. Fourth person. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Acknowledgement of the country, welcome to country happens at the beginning. And we had a beautiful welcome to country this morning from Marty and Jenny. But the only reason why I'm up here is because we're doing another one. When I say another one, it's another event. Today has been done. My work is done. I'm handing over to the night captain, who will do an exemplary job, I'm sure. But what I'd like to do is get everyone involved in this one. So you're going to have to put your drinks down. If you are standing, it's going to be tricky, I know. But you know, you might be able to put it somewhere. And we'll all just stand up just for a little bit, yeah? Shake it off. We're going to get ourselves in the mood for this, yeah? All right, yeah. I'll make it a really easy song for you, yeah? So this one, it just goes, Wada-o. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Male. Gamige. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Male. Gamige. And if we put it all together, it will sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Male. Gamige. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Male. Gamige. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Male. Gamige. Spread your feet, everybody. Male. Gamige. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Male. Gamige. Wada-o. Dari-nana. Here we go with Sticky. I took it out of me. I forgot to take it away. But what we've just said is we're just acknowledging the ancestors by saying we're here. Malay, men, boys, Gamige, women and girls. So men and women, we are all here. We're celebrating place. We are celebrating the past. We are celebrating the present. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Costa Georgiadis.
Now I'm going to do the official thing and welcome and hand over to Costa. So Costa, this is your life on our stage.
Thank you, Alan, President. Look forward to chatting more tonight. Clarence, thank you. And can I say a big thank you to Clarence for his effort today as MC the whole day. Days are long, you're thinking on your feet, you're threading ideas, you're listening to one speaker and the next, and then he's just sprinkling song, jokes, and his character all through it. It's been fantastic.
Don't forget the OnlyFans account.
The which?
OnlyFans account. I need the cash.
Now, we've got a fantastic night ahead. The food's begun, the drinks are there. There's lots of people, familiar faces that I remember from Cairns. Hard to believe that was
1 year ago to the day.
It was last year, to the day. Yeah, like just like that. There's 25 or so awards, and we're going to go through and do about 15, and then we'll have a break. But the most important thing about this is recognition, and I don't tire from awards, because awards are markers. They're a tilt of the hat. They're a recognition of effort over a long period of time, not just what the specific award is, the steps that it takes to get to these awards. And there's some big awards tonight. So enjoy each award. Enjoy the effort that each and every one of the people, some who aren't here, some who are here, have put in, not just to our industry, but to the planet, which ultimately is the blessing that we have with the work that we do, that we really do get to care. So to start off with, I'd like to call Paul Crichton to the stage. Is Paul here? And Paul's going to talk a little bit about the beverages that you're sharing this evening. So take it away, Paul.
Thank you, Costa. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me here. My name is Paul Crichton, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm sorry, that's actually tomorrow's meeting. I'm sorry. But my name is actually Paul Crichton. For the last 20 years, I've been a wine merchant. Previous to that, I was 25 years in the restaurant industry, and it got to the stage where I hated customers as much as I hated staff. And when you're in the hospitality game, it's not great. So you've got to try and find yourself another avenue to find, and wine was my calling. So tonight's wine for you, and I think as Costa said, this earth of ours, we're here to try and protect. And the wines you have tonight are 100% organic, biodynamic, and have been since 1992. Sam Stratton, the owner of the winery, is actually fourth generation winemaker. Originally from France, the family. His great-great-great-grandmother was actually producing organic wine in France in the 1900s. There are now 4,362 grape varieties in the world that you can actually make wine out of. I've been in the game literally all my life as far as booze is concerned, and I would struggle to find 50 of those grapes that I know of. About 4 or 5 years ago, I went with my wife and my eldest son to Italy, and went on a little day trip down to the Amalfi Coast. And the hire guy came along and said, look, we've got this lovely restaurant for you, Paul, and I'd like you to have this particular wine off the wine list. So we sat down overlooking the ocean. It was just a superb day. I looked down the wine list and I couldn't actually find the wine he was talking about. And so I walked up to his table where he was sitting there with the rest of the hire guys, and I said, mate, can you tell me where the wine is you want me to purchase today? And of course, his finger went all the way down to the very, very bottom. And we know what that means, it's the most expensive. So I thought, well, when in Rome, you may as well. And this particular wine was called Friadusa. There is only 12 grape vines in Amalfi Coast that actually produce this particular wine. They make 300 bottles. And if any of you ever think about now your special moment somewhere, no matter whether it's 20 years ago or 100 years ago, you actually remember that moment. I remember that moment when I put my lips to this particularly beautiful wine, one of the nicest wine I've had in my life. And as I started my conversation with, I'm an alcoholic, so I've drunk plenty. And it was absolutely superb. The wonderful thing about what the industry itself over the last certainly 10 years is actually going down the track of obviously trying to be organic, biodynamic, and certainly the word that we love to use these days is sustainability. And it doesn't matter whether you want to, in your vineyard rows, to actually plant some beautiful sprinkling of some flowers in them so that it attracts all these lovely wasps that actually eat the moths, rather than obviously pour Roundup through the middle of the vine so that it looks beautiful. It doesn't matter whether you're planting roses out the front of them, obviously, which you in the horticulture industry know that roses are quite susceptible to diseases. And of course, the winemaker or the vineyard manager can actually see diseases are starting to come into his vineyard, and he can obviously use that appropriately. One of the nemesis, of course, with winemaking, and that is very, very close to when harvest is, and you don't want Mother Nature to open up and pour plenty of wine out of the skies, because obviously you get mildew, which obviously hurts your wines. Wineries will come along, or the largest guys will come down there, down the Riverina, will come along and obviously spray their grapes to obviously dry up the grapes. Sam from Rosnay will come along and actually get his tractor out there and actually spray milk powder, dry milk powder, onto the grapes. The milk powder will obviously dry up the moisture, and obviously Mother Nature with its wind a couple of days later will blow it all off and the grapes are in great nick again. Interesting thing with weeds, I live in Thora these days. I've got 200 acres up there in Thora, and when I first bought that property 3 years ago, I would have had 10,000 thistles that I had to obviously get out there and chip away in the paddocks. You know, lantana, tobacco bush, holy dooly. The hours and hours I've spent out there to try and do that. But weeds are actually quite good for a vineyard. If you have 1% of weeds in your vineyard that obviously turn into organic matter, your 1 hectare will have 172,000 litres of extra moisture for the soil. If you have 3% of weeds that turn into organic matter in a vineyard, you'll have an Olympic-sized swimming pool worth of water sitting there rather than obviously pumping it out of the local creek. Tomorrow morning, for those of you that enjoy a bottle or two, the one thing you will be doing, that is thinking of me, because you will not have a headache, I can guarantee you that. These wines tonight are organic, preservative-free, no sulphur, and no fining agents. Fining agents, obviously, that they sprinkle over the top of the vats to clean and clear the wine down, would be either fish emulsion, fish bones, sometimes even soil. But what they do these days is they actually crush up pea and potato peels and dry that, sprinkle over the top, and down it comes. Vegan friendly, so perfect going forward. I do hope you enjoy the wines this evening, and may I thank you all for allowing me up here to talk a little bit about the wine game. Thank you very much for coming. Good night.
Thanks, Paul. To the bar. Fining agents. When I was crushing grapes on the small Greek island of Kythera in a little village called Mitata for the wine festival, I don't think we were using fining agents. It was just bare feet. Yeah, it was pretty volatile wine, let's say. But it made me think of, I was in a vineyard there in Greece, and one of the grapes came off the vine, and I was a bit concerned because we didn't want to waste it, and then someone trod on it, and I went over to the grape, and it looked up to me. I said, "Oh, you know, what happened?" And it said, "Oh, actually, I've just screwed that up." Okay, that didn't quite work. I'll bring it up later. We'll move along. I tried to improvise and I just totally lost that. See, that's the difference between the day captain and the night captain. Clarence offered me the joke freely and I screwed it up. But I'll come back a bit later when you might be a little more relaxed and it will be funny. Now, I'd like to call on Paul Plant, who is going to announce the AIH Plants of the Year. So now, there's interesting terrain there to be trodden, but we'll say it's the AIH Appreciated Plants of the Year, because when you come up with ideas, there's always someone else that's working on something, and you can sort of tread on shards of glass and tin tacks. So anyway, Paul, get up here and tell us about these plants that you're going to recognise.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. For many, many years, the Australian Institute of Horticulture has wanted to launch a system like this, and luckily we are at the point where we are doing it. So our title is AIH Top Plant Award. We're just, as mentioned, being very careful with the wording. To give you an idea, many countries run Top Plant of the year awards, and AIH is in a wonderful situation full of professionals from various industry sectors and are probably best suited and situated to select plants that work really well in the industry and also are readily available or has the potential in the industry to be more readily produced. A lot of the other awards internationally and even some in future in Australia are based on new releases. Ours are not. These are based on plants the members have selected. And from that selection, each member nominated 2 plants. From all of that information, it was brought forward. The judges from each of the climate zones then selected the winner for that particular zone. So at present, we're planning, eventually, to have 4 zones: subtropical, tropical, temperate, and dry. Due to the numbers of nominations, we've had to fine-tune it down to just 2 zones for this particular year. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to do the others. It just depends upon our members, you folk out there, to make the nominations each year. So, for the first winner. The winner for the subtropical zone is known as the Brisbane lily or the Moreton Bay lily. It's Pryphorus cunninghamii. To give an idea why one of the reasons it was nominated, and this was from one of the submissions, highly ornamental native bulb with attractive leaves and umbels of seasonal attractive white perfumed flowers. This native plant is an attractive foliage plant for bright semi-shaded areas with moisture over summer, but will tolerate dry periods when during its die down foliage period. This plant deserves to be more widely grown and known. So most of you may have never ever seen this plant. It looks like a daffodil. It looks like a jonquil. What was the particular word with 2 S's that was mentioned today? Narcissus. It looks like a narcissus, but it's native. And in reality, if you've never seen one, I came prepared. And luckily, it was flowering. And that is our native bulbous, known as the Brisbane lily or Moreton Bay lily. And yes, you can track it down from specialist native land care groups and also plant collectors. And we're hoping, I was speaking to one bulb specialist nursery, they're trying to put it into tissue culture. So hopefully one day it will be more readily available, but a lot of people in southeast Queensland, this is on their top list of plants people want to grow. Hence, the winner, the top plant for the subtropical zone. And you can look at it later if you want to. If someone's willing to pay me a lot of money, I'll actually sell it. Otherwise, it's going back home with me. Okay, the next winner is the winner for the temperate zone. This is the part where most of New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, and southern parts of Western Australia are connected, is the coastal rosemary, Westringia fruticosa. So some of the words submitted for the support of this particular plant are hardy and adaptable. Have used this plant in a warm, temperate clays in the Illawarra to the cool, temperate sands of the South Gippsland. Can be used as hedging or clipped into neat balls. Another comment, a great native all-rounder for providing some balance and form. The reason also this was won, unanimous by the judges, was that it is grown in virtually all the nurseries. It is well cultivated. There are a lot of cultivars, but the award goes to the species, Westringia fruticosa, or fruticosa, I should say correctly. And they are the 2 winners for this year, and hopefully next year we may have some more. But I encourage all members, when it's run in 2025, please put in your nominations so that we get more feedback, more nominations from you. You are the experts who can suggest the plants that work well, that work right, that are tried, that are tested that work in your particular climate. So on behalf of the judges, on behalf of the panel, thank you for everyone who participated, and these are our winners, the Australian Institute of Horticulture Top Plant Awards for 2024. That's it. Nice and short.
Oh, that was good. Oh, here's your plant. Oh, will we leave right there?
Yeah, leave it there.
Well, while we're at it, I thought I'd just do a little People's Choice cheer to see out of the two which one you people here feel is the the crowd in the moment winner. So give a cheer for. Oops, not that one. Give a cheer for the Brisbane Lily. Need a winner. What about Westringer Horticulture? There's a lot of echo going on there, and I think that's an unfair advantage. I'm going to pick a captain's call. President, who got it?
I've been a nurseryman for 50 years, retired. Westringer has been in my entire life for 50 years in many different states. How could you not give it to us?
There it is. It's official. Westringer wins it. A little bit of New South Wales bias there, I feel. But anyway, well, what's that?
I live in Queensland.
You live in Queensland? Oh, well, there you go. Now, this is the latest and most up-to-date version of a video that's been put together by the Institute, and the very first public release of it. So please stand back, sit back and enjoy.
It's such a beautiful atmosphere. All my family say, you look after the land and the land will look after you.
I'm here at the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show. Martin Semken Landscaping.
Its sole intent is to be what it is, a welcome garden, simple, you could sit up there, have a cup of tea.
Annika and Kaiser, tell me a bit about this garden. It's very impressive.
We want this garden to be a celebration and inspiration from the Nordics.
We wanted it to feel like walking in nature in Sweden. The greens, they're so lush and light, and the understory is full of ferns, delicate flowers, and also wild strawberries.
It's a place where you feel free from stress. It's your own sanctuary.
What you've got around here is something that can be built in a backyard, but it's all about green shade. It's about green cooling for an environment. Horticulture, plants, all part of what is required in the social environment that we live and breathe every day. You know, it's the wellness as well of plants. We need to repair what we can repair and change the way we go about things. And it's about the bigger picture of of showing Australia and the rest of the world what horticulture can do in the industry.
We've got Em and Liam. They're going to tell us a little bit about this.
This garden is called Through the Looking Glass because we're talking about the concealed ecosystems beneath our feet, and that the health of these systems only exists if we have clean water sources and really healthy soil systems. We want to showcase how beautiful Australian plants are.
Look what we've created in 10 days. I think it's come up really well. We're super proud of what we've done. It feels right.
Peter, good to see you again, my friend.
Terence, how are you?
There seems to be a plane sticking out of your garden. What's going on?
We are ultimately trying to retell the story of a 1984 veteran Air Force pilot who returns to a place he hopes to be able to call home, and the difficulties ultimately that veterans may go through.
Exhibition gardens are really important because you can't be what you can't see. People need to have a bearing. They need some crosshairs on something. So with an AIH garden dealing with Shade Smart, that's a really nice way to bring those messages across. They're like little sleeper concepts that people can take away and think, oh, I need to consider these things in my day-to-day. Well, there we go. First release of that video. Big congrats to everyone involved with producing that. And of course, who made it to MIFGS this year? Always a treat to get there, and particularly great to see the garden designs. But for me, one of my favourite parts is the avenue of the achievables and what we're doing for the youth designers and the youth landscape contractors as well. And going to Floriade a couple of weeks ago, I see that they're starting to build that connection between the TAFE students and industry and design students, and building their own student and industry-led gardens as well. So it's really good to see. So yeah, big congratulations. But we're off and away now with our awards. And the first award I'm presenting is actually 3 awards, and it's an appreciation award. And the citation reads like this. As a not-for-profit organisation, AIH greatly values the efforts of those who contribute to our success and smooth operations, whether through their involvement on National Council or assisting with operational improvements. Their dedication helps us continue to thrive. It is with sincere appreciation that we present the AIH Appreciation Award to Daniel Fuller, Dan Lee, and Eleanor Jenkins. Now, Daniel and Dan both can't be here, so we wish them well and we'll pass on their awards, but it's a pleasure to call Eleanor Jenkins up to receive her Appreciation Award.
There we go. Eleanor, thank you for what you've given to us in the last 2 years. And it's not. Come on, Art.
I'll get my momentum up, working slides, computers. Okay, our next award is the AIH Award of Merit. And this is for the Landscape for Wellbeing, LFWB. Tanya Woods, landscape architect with the University of Technology of Sydney. Now the citation reads, The Landscapes for Wellbeing project showcases the power of horticulture to enhance community wellbeing through collaboration with UTS students, local high school students, staff and the community. The project transformed the high school site into a biodiverse, sustainable landscape and outdoor classroom. By integrating climate education and an endemic plant palette, LFWB contributes to UV protection, ecological restoration and student engagement. This innovative initiative sets a new standard for horticulture in educational settings, positively impacting health, learning and the environment. We're pleased to present the Award of Merit to the Landscape for Wellbeing project. And Tanya Woods, if you could come up, and Andrew Prowse is the sponsor and he's going to present that award. Thank you, Andrew, and congratulations, Tanya. So our next award is the AIH Award of Merit, and this one is for excellence and perseverance in the growing, harvesting and marketing of cut flowers. It's been sponsored by the Therapeutic Horticulture Australia, and I'd like to call on Lee McKay, is that correct? McGay. It's Greek. I knew that. I'd like to, Lee McGay to present the award, and the recipient this year is Lawrence Tokas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well deserved.
Thank you. I can talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Lawrence. Congratulations, Lawrence. Lawrence Tokas has shown remarkable resilience and determination after suffering 3 strokes in 2021. Despite ongoing rehabilitation, Lawrence has dedicated himself to horticulture, running a flower and vegetable growing business with his wife. As a student, Lawrence's passion for plants has aided his recovery, and he consistently goes above and beyond in his studies. His perseverance, commitment to his business, and positive outlook in the face of immense challenges makes Lawrence Tokas a deserving recipient of the Award of Merit. Please thank Lawrence. Now, our next award is the AIH Award of Merit for Threatened Plant Living Collection. The winner is the Melbourne City Council and Royal Botanic Gardens Victoria for their collaborative initiative to increase planting spaces for rare and threatened species in the city of Melbourne. This has been sponsored by the AIH Council, and I'd like to call on AIH Treasurer Jason Summers to present the award. And if Lee Harrison, Senior Ecologist, Parks and City Gardens, is here. And Russell Luak, Russell Lark. Of course it's Greek. The City of Melbourne's Threatened Plant Living Collection is a collaborative initiative with the Royal Botanic Gardens Victoria, aimed at conserving rare and threatened plant species. By incorporating these species into council landscapes, including projects like the Green Line project, the collection contributes meaningfully to biodiversity. When 56 species prioritised for planting, this innovative plan shifts the city parks from amenity-focused spaces to key conservation areas. We are proud to honour this significant effort with the Award of Merit.
Thanks, Costa. And thank you all so much for this award. That's really lovely. This project started in 2019 after the Black Summer bushfires, and our landscape architects came to me and said, we're so heartbroken by these terrible bushfires, and how do we do something about that? And so it took me a few years to find Russell from the Botanic Gardens. How can we actually do something about this in our city landscapes? And so we wrote a plan, and so this is the result of that plan. So thank you.
I'm just going to hijack the microphone for a second, uninvited. But I just wanted to say, we at the Gardens have a special privilege. I work on a lot of single species conservation projects all over Victoria. And what we're really looking to do these days is to engage more people in more places with rare plants. We feel like it's not mainstream, so we're doing a whole bunch of selection work behind the scenes to try and introduce these species into horticulture. We've just recently partnered with Plant Management Australia, and we're hoping to start releasing these plants in the next couple of years. I think there's a whole bunch of landscape architects and urban designers and urban planners who do a lot of aspirational stuff, and I think the key to being able to implement those plans is to have the plants, and sometimes we don't have them, so hopefully we can influence the industry a little bit. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Just on a logistic thing, I think I was a little bit remiss in not explaining if you're a recipient, if you can come up here and get the photo. I'm congesting it a bit here. I'll get out of the way once you get up here. Our next award is another award of merit, and this is for Bob Cherry, a true plant breeder and explorer, having produced several hundred plant cultivars of international merit. Now, this was nominated by Graham Ross, and it's been sponsored by Darren Mason. I'd like to call Darren Mason up to present the award to Bob Cherry. Oh, Bob can't be here, but Daryl is here. Daryl, if you could join us. Oh, here she is. Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Bob Cherry, Australia's foremost plant breeder, has made remarkable contributions to horticulture over his 60-year career. A true plant explorer, Bob has introduced hundreds of international plant cultivars and shared his extensive knowledge with nurserymen, academics, and the gardening public. Through his Paradise Nursery brand, he has provided new ornamental plants both locally and internationally. His plant breeding achievements include numerous camellia varieties and other ornamental species, solidifying his reputation worldwide. We're honoured to present this award of merit to Bob Cherry.
Thank you. Bob's really sorry he can't be here tonight to join us, but he wanted me to say the following few words on his behalf. Firstly, thank you so much for this award. He is truly delighted to receive it. He also wanted me to say that he feels he's been very fortunate in his life to be able to follow his passion for growing collecting and breeding plants. Thank you.
Wow, that is some serious achievement, looking at those statistics and that life of breeding. Pass on our wishes. Okay, our next award is the Kim Morris Student Award 2024. This has been sponsored by Sempkin Landscaping, and I'd like to call up Martin Sempkin, who's going to present the award to Amanda Baker. Now, the Kim Morris Student Award goes as follows. Amanda Baker began her horticulture journey in 2023, quickly becoming a supportive leader in her Cert 2 horticulture class. Her dedication not only ensured her own success, but inspired younger classmates to complete their studies and continue to Cert 3. Amanda's commitment to helping others, whether in practical activities or theory, was instrumental in the class's success. A passionate dahlia grower, Amanda Baker's enthusiasm and resilience in the face of challenges makes her a deserving recipient of the Kim Morris Student Award. Congratulations, Amanda. Come on up.
Thank you.
Just roll over a little. Just a bit more, bit more, bit more.
Awesome. Thank you. Can I please explain the photo?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
If you can't work out what's going on in the far left, far right, my right, your left, that was at my very first Dahlia, Queensland Dahlia Association show, and it was the national show that year as well. You can see how excited I was. I found my love of gardening through dahlias. So, and this one, it's my 50th year this year, and we went out to the Big Red Bash, and they have a drag race, and I was determined, my whole goal was to win the drag race. So I designed Emmylou. This is Emmylou Emu, and I was also awarded the Queen of the Drag Race, Queen of the Desert at Birdsville this year. So. I think this is more special though. And seeing I'm up here and I like to talk, can I put a proposition to Costa while I'm up here? It's a really good one. It's a gardening one.
Oh.
All right, my son goes to a special purposes school in Lismore, and you know what happened to Lismore a couple of years ago with all the floods. And one of the things the principal asked me once I did my horticulture is, great, you can set up a bush tucker garden. And I'm like, well, I get to meet Costa. I said, so, you know, I've got witnesses. I'm hitting up Costa to come and work with me and teach me some stuff in the bush tucker garden.
Oh, gee, that sounds good. And I might just pay forward a co-invitation and look over there to my friend Clarence. And I think it might be a stereo visit.
That would be awesome. I'll be the apprentice. I'll hold you to it. I've got witnesses. I'll swap dahlias. Awesome, thank you. Thank you.
Look at those dahlias, they are sensational. And I remember my grandfather used to grow those ones. Like, I just know them. As soon as I see it, it's like, it's his front yard. So, yeah, thanks for sparking that memory for me, Amanda. And yes, we will come. We will come. Okay, the next one. The Horticultural Student of the Year. In recognition of their studies in Certificate 3 in Horticulture at TAFE New South Wales, Orange, and their ongoing dedication and enthusiasm. Notice I changed that to be sort of independent so that I can mention that this was sponsored by the AIH Fellows Group. And I would like to call up none other than Jonathan Garner to present the award to Evan Reid. So Evan Reid is an exceptional talent in the Australian horticulture industry with a passion for plant care. He completed his Certificate 2 in horticulture while volunteering at Mayfield Garden, leading to full-time employment. I love that. Like that, when people ask me, where do I get a job? Get in and get involved and you'll get a job. Evan's commitment saw him balance a 38-hour work week while self-funding and completing his Certificate 3. His knowledge in plant identification and care, coupled with his leadership, has made him a highly valued team member at Mayfield. We're proud to honour Evan Reid as the Horticultural Student of the Year for 2024. Well done, Evan.
Gardening friend, you're well worth it, mate. Thank you. Keep learning. Yeah, you're an inspiration to everyone, mate. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. Oh. You need to have. Oh, quick.
Photo first.
Get the ugly one in the middle.
No, you get just get a photo.
No, you need to have a word now, friend.
Pleasure.
Thank you, mate. Well done.
G'day, guys. I'm pretty late in terms of coming to the horticultural scene. I've been told I'm quite old to become a horticulturalist, but looking around the room, it's not too bad. I'd just like to extend my thank you to the Hawkins family, so Garrick, Alex and Evelyn, for providing an establishment where I can hone my craft. I feel very blessed to work in such a beautiful garden, so it really is a pleasure. And I'd just also like to thank Cindy Matthews from TAFE, New South Wales. Without her constant knowledge and encouragement, I wouldn't be here today. And I also get the opportunity to work with a lovely gentleman like Jonathan Garner and Leon Hoseworth. He taught me that the most important and crucial tool that a horticulturalist has is their eyes. And I've seen so much lovely stuff working in this industry, and I'm just getting started, so I can't wait to keep learning and seeing new and more things. So thank you, everyone.
Evan, thank you. What a treat. Oh, where's the microphone? Calibrated for Evan up there. All right. Now, our next award is the AIH Green Space Community Award. This has been nominated by the AIH Council and sponsored by Van Balen Horticultural. Oh, we're giving that out tomorrow. Oh, so this is going to be given out on the tour tomorrow, because the winner of the Green Space Community Award for 2024 is the North Coast Regional Botanic Gardens, Coffs Harbour, New South Wales. Okay, so the North Coast Regional Botanic Gardens in Coffs Harbour support a diverse range of features, including wheelchair accessible discovery walks, tranquil picnic areas and a variety of planted gardens such as Australian natives, rainforests and international plant collections. With sensory gardens, a tropical glasshouse and scenic ponds, the Botanic Gardens provide an exceptional horticultural experience for all visitors, which many of you will enjoy tomorrow. We're pleased to present the Green Space Community Award to the North Coast Regional Botanic Gardens. Please come join us. Up you come, Wayne. Get a photo. Thank you.
My name's Graham. I'm the president of the Friends of the Botanic Garden and welcome you all tomorrow to our beautiful garden. We have 335 members of the Friends and over 200 volunteers, and I'm a semi-retired ecologist, wannabe horticulturalist. The semi-retired is code for I work for free, more or less full-time at the garden. Just a little tidbit of information about our beautiful garden is that it began with a canoe trip in 1972 with a bunch of local environmentalists, canoed down Coffs Creek. They got off at the peninsula, which surrounds the garden, and that group included Alex Floyd, botanist and author of Rainforest Books, one of our founders, and they walked around amidst the waste dump that was there at the time and said this would make a great place for a botanic garden. So a lot of volunteer time over the years to transform it, and we're very proud of its open access to a wide range of community groups. We're even prouder at the moment that if you Google attraction in Coffs Harbour, the Botanic Garden comes back at one of the top 3. And even better, it's a few places ahead of the Big Banana. Another horticultural feature of the Coffs. Waning these days to the blueberry, but there's no big blueberry quite yet. Anyway, that's enough from me. Thanks, Costa.
The next AIH Green Space Community Award is sponsored by Spade Total Gardens, and I'd like to call on Chris Pearce, MD for Spade Total Gardens, to come up and present the award. And the winner of, or this nomination and winner is for The Link at Toormina here, for providing a place where the community can connect with nature and support physical, emotional and spiritual well-being. Now, the Link in Toormina, as we have all experienced, exemplifies community-focused green space design. This project integrates vibrant, accessible gardens that enhance local quality of life and foster community engagement. The thoughtfully designed spaces feature diverse plantings and multifunctional areas that cater to various community needs. By creating welcoming outdoor environments for recreation, social interaction and relaxation, the Link stands out as a model of how green spaces can effectively serve and uplift a community, and it's our pleasure to honour their work with the Green Space Community Award.
Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you very much for being with us for the last couple of days. We really appreciate it. I hope you've taken in the space as much as we really want you to. We love the fact that we have the community that comes and visits us every day. While you were here having your conference, you would have looked out and seen all the mothers groups, all the carers coming through. You know, we just love that we're able to give back to Coffs Harbour and to the community, and it's a nice place to just come and reflect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham, and thanks for having us here for the last couple of days. Now, our next award is an award of excellence, and our recipient is unable to attend today. This was sponsored by Andrew Prowse and Matt Mitchley. Was nominated by Andrew Prowse and Matt Mitchley and sponsored by TAFE New South Wales. And this goes to Lisa Ellis Gardens, and it acknowledges Lisa Ellis Gardens' 20 years of excellence in award-winning horticulture and design in Victoria. Lisa Ellis Gardens is a multi-award winning design studio based in Melbourne and has been a leader in garden design since its establishment in 2004. Renowned for their bespoke and enduring designs, the studio collaborates with architects and designers to create landscapes that harmonise with architecture and the environment. Their projects have been widely recognised in top publications and media. Lisa Ellis Garden's commitment to collaboration, transparency and innovative design is why we're proud to present them with this award for excellence. Congratulations, Lisa Ellis. Okay, we're moving into some big ones now. This is an AIH Lifetime Achievement Award. I'd like to call Arno King up to present the award. And this was nominated by the AIH Council. And the winner of the this Lifetime Achievement Award is John Mason. John Mason has dedicated his life to advancing horticulture, mentoring countless students through ACS distant education and shaping the industry's future. With a career spanning parks management, landscaping, arboriculture and authorship, John's contributions are vast. A founding member of the Australian Garden Council and fellow of multiple horticultural institutes, John has also served as AIH president. With over 47 years of commitment to AIH, we are honoured to present John Mason with the AIH Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you. Look, AIH has given me more than what I've given AIH, and the same with the industry. I just encourage everyone to stay in it as long as I have. If you can work it out, I joined in 1974, so calculate those years and you know when you can come and stand up here, I guess. You know, look, this is all about meeting people, networking and learning. And that's what AIH was when I joined, and that's why I joined. And it's the same all these years later. Thank you.
Seriously, yesterday I was here and John was speaking to someone with what I would believe is the same enthusiasm that he would have been speaking to someone 48 years ago. And that's saying something. And he's always on a beeline to students and youth. And it's beautiful to see. So big congratulations, John. It's fantastic. Wow, I'm calling up some, holy dooly. Okay. Our next AIH Lifetime Achievement Award is going to be presented by Michael Casey. So Michael, if you could come up. So this Lifetime Achievement Award, the recipient is Stuart Pittendra. Stuart is a distinguished horticulturist and landscape architect and has made an extraordinary impact over his career spanning more than 50 years. From his major international projects to his influential role in Australian urban green space, Stuart's expertise is unparalleled. His contributions include the award-winning Barangaroo Reserve and numerous consulting roles with various governments. A revered figure in the field, Stuart's dedication, meticulousness and continuous pursuit of excellence have left a lasting legacy. His commitment extends beyond professional achievements to his community and church, supported by his wife Jan. Stuart's career reflects his high standards and deep passion that define our profession, and we're honoured to present him with this Lifetime Achievement Award.
Stuart's recovering from a recent operation, and he's asked me if I would accept this on his behalf. If Andrew Prowse is around, I'd like him standing beside me. We were co-nominators, but there he is. And why Andrew's important is he's an architect and knows Stuart well as a Life Fellow of the Australian Institute of Landscape Architects. If I could just have a minute, Costa, just to reiterate a couple of things that Costa, similar to what Costa has mentioned. Stuart's vast experience and attention to detail has made him largely untouchable in the courts. He has given freely of his time to many AIH workshops, professionals, and I look at Neville Passmore here, who rang him one day for some very serious advice. He's been a great supporter of all of us, and to the general community. A massive contributor to our profession. He's a perfectionist and very serious about detail and getting it right. And my younger brother, as a landscaper, was terrified of him because he had to get it right. He's always kept himself current with advancing technologies, which is very impressive as he's now 87 years of age. Stuart is an extremely proud, long-standing member of our institute. I think, speaking to John Mason, it might be nearly 60 years for Stuart, and probably one of our longest-serving members. He used to, even until recently, argue that he wanted a pie like he used to get in the 60s, with peas. He just loved the meetings, loved just being one of us. He greatly appreciates this award, and I'm sure we are all proud of him, and I accept this award on his behalf. And we wish him a speedy recovery.
Thanks, Wayne, Michael and Andrew. So it's a real privilege to have been announcing these fellowships, these AIH fellowships, because they are not something that just happens every year, as you saw with the two that I've given out. And I have one more that we're giving out tonight. This is going to be presented by John Mason and Alan Burnell. So if you two could come up onto the stage, please. Now, the recipient of this fellowship for 2024 is Graham Ross, MAIH. Graham Ross AM is a celebrated Australian horticulturist with over 60 years of experience in plant breeding, arboriculture, landscape design and horticultural education. Graham has been a member of AIH for over 50 years, serving on a number of councils and committees. He served as principal of Ryde School of Horticulture and has been awarded the Order of Australia in 2021. In 2011, at Hampton Court, Graham was awarded the prestigious Queen Victoria Gold Veitch Memorial Medal for his lifelong contributions to the art, science and practice of horticulture. His extensive media career spans over 4 decades, including hosting the Garden Clinic radio show, writing for major publications, and producing iconic TV gardening programs such as Better Homes and Gardens. In 2014, he co-founded the Australian Garden Council to promote youth engagement and global garden tourism, and has been instrumental in fostering international collaborations. Graham's enduring passion for horticulture has solidified his legacy as one of Australia's foremost gardening experts. Please put your hands together for AIH Fellowship nominee Graham Ross.
I don't think I need...
Can I just buzz in for a moment?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, look, you failed me when you was my lecturer 48 years ago. You failed me because I never handed in my presentation. I know it's 48 years late, but here it is. Here it is. This is exactly. It's a bit petrified, but it's an absolute honour to give this to you. But does that mean I pass? This is 2 years in a row you failed.
I'll give you a pass. A trade.
A trade, exactly right. But you don't get to take this home.
No, I'm taking it home. Thank you, Alan.
I'll let you have to say your job.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, John. Thank you, AIH. I think I was just on 11 when I got on my bicycle on the way home from school and lent it up against our local garden centre. All of them had chain wire fences in those days, and I was there most weekends and after school buying plants long before the big red box. And I walked in, Norm Stevens was there, the owner, one of those railway station garden centres, and I said, "Oh, Mr. Stevens, is there any chance?" He said, "Yeah, 6 o'clock Saturday morning." And I was there Saturday and Sunday for 10 years. That started a bad habit of a Saturday, Sunday, 7-day working program, which I've basically had ever since. Every job I've ever had has always included weekend work, ride, teaching. There were weekend excursions, workshops on the weekend, and then Monday to Friday with a great team of teachers. The best on the planet. I know it's the best on the planet because a Premier who accepted our request for new buildings, new courses, new staff, when he wasn't handing out money to anybody, gave us a new building in 1975. The student body when I started as a student was 220. When I started as a teacher in 1970, it was 410. When I retired from RIDE in January 1980, it was 2,600. The largest horticultural institution on the planet. Nobody came anywhere near it. I know they were the best teachers because he, quite miraculously, even though when I went in the media we fought like cat and dog, "Are you working for Fairfax?" You might remember the Premier at the time if you're a New South Welshman, but he gave us an unbridled access to funding. And we needed 32 of the best horticulturists. It literally went 12, 18, 20 and over 30. We needed 32. The science people, they were easy to get. The botanists were easy to get. Plant pathologists, entomologists were easy to get. But the horticulturists with a career in gardening right through the whole spectrum of horticulture were really hard. We got the best in Australia. Then we went to New Zealand, California, one fellow from Hong Kong, 2 from South America and 2 from England. we ended up with 32 of some of the finest people that I've ever seen stand in front of a class in this country. They were following in the footsteps of Tom Paramore, a great teacher, the landscape designer of the War Memorial in Canberra, and it was my pleasure to finally wake up the government and the minister in Canberra to finally recognise Tom's work at the War Memorial a couple of 18 months, 2 years ago. But the man who was instrumental in horticulture in Australia, because all the colleges that left and were created around the country were influenced by Raymond John Rowell. Ray Rowell was an absolute legend. Worked in nurseries right throughout his life and started teaching after the war at Sydney Tech. They decided to move them out because the students were bringing in dirt on the bottom of plants. Good heavens, could you believe it? They were bringing dirt in on their shoes. And this was an institution that was pretty clean, and of course one of the oldest educational institutions in Australia, Sydney Technical College. The first architecture courses in Australia, and the highest award you could get as an architect was an ASTC, an Associate of Sydney Technical College. But they didn't want the Horts there, so they said get out into the country somewhere, so Ray found a 23-acre block at Ryde, and that's how Ryde began in 1956. Of those 32 people, one of them was, in fact they were all brilliant people, but one stood out, and that was Bruce Stringer. Bruce had been brought up on a farm at Bilpin in the Blue Mountains. His father had trained him well from the time he fell out of his pram, and then he worked at the very early days at the Mount Tomah Botanic Gardens. We snaffled Bruce because we were really chasing him for quite some years. The reason I'm mentioning this is that it's so critical about the continuum of information, the continuum of standards, the attainment of the highest standard we can achieve in this country. And Bruce achieved that. Bruce, when I retired, went to Orange TAFE. Orange TAFE was a great TAFE college. Bruce made it 4,000% better. One of his students, Leon, is one of the greatest young horticulturists we've had in this country. He works as their head gardener at Mayfield. Leon worships the ground that Bruce walked on, and still does to this day when I saw him only a couple of days ago. And now there are young people influenced by Leon. Leon was influenced by Bruce. Bruce was influenced by me, and I was influenced by Raymond Rowell. So you've got a continuum of knowledge. But don't let me misguide you. No student left Ryde with either a certificate or a diploma without a knowledge of 4,200 plants. 4,200 plants. That went up 1,000 in 1977 when we all as a body of teachers thought we were ashamed and disgraced not to include the eucalypts as a major component. Well, there's 1,000. So it suddenly went up to 5,000 plus. That's where we have to get back to. So if your certificate or diploma is post-19, I'd say about 83, expect to get a tap on the door. Because TAFE is aware of what has happened in the last 40 years. They are acutely aware. And you know why? Because industry is screaming blue murder. Industry cannot get horticulturists of the standard that we should be providing. So there will be a reckoning. There is already a day of reckoning because industry recognises that we are not providing the standard that was there once. So I'm not here to lecture, I'm just here to tell you and warn you that this is what's coming. Because in the last, I suppose, since about 2013 when I was asked to do a survey, where did the apprentices go, where did the trainees go, and I couldn't believe it because we'd left Ryde with 2,600 students. In 2012, Better Homes and Gardens sent me around Australia to every state with a garden competition, Graham's Great Gardens of Australia. But everywhere I went along to the Landscape Association's conference or a meeting of nurserymen, and they all said, "Where have the apprentices gone?" Not my fault, I'd left Ryde decades ago. But it suddenly alerted me to the fact that there was a problem. So I then set about to, for the first time in Australia, to have a look and research closely where we were at. So the report that I produced, which was where Australian horticulture and gardening was at, was published in 2013. At that point, Australia had 420 students of horticulture. From 2,600 at one institution, the nation had dropped to 420. So when the Minister of the day, David Littleproud, got hold of that information, he rang me and he said, "That can't be right, Mr. Ross." He said, I said, "Look, it's Graham, David." He said, "Okay, Graham." He said, "That can't be right. That's a bit of BS. So we've got the paddocks all over Australia covered with that." And I said, "Well, it's not. It's true." And he said, "Well, if you continue in that way, I can tell you from the research that we're doing in agriculture, your industry, quote, your industry is doomed." Doomed. Now, things haven't improved much since then. The Garden Council was established 2015 and then funded by the federal government in 2019. So we're desperately trying, with John, who's one of our board members, and other directors around the country, trying to awaken. We've sent out over 400,000 brochures to high schools, making them aware of the great careers, lifetime careers that you can have in horticulture. And there's something like, there's just hundreds and hundreds of divisions. It's not just retail and production nursery. It's not just landscape construction and design. There's a million different aspects to horticulture, let alone the garden tourism industry. So hopefully, in the next couple of years, we will see a kick up and a turnaround. This is an enormous honour, and I thank you very much for it. It was interesting to see one of the very first merit awards that came up. Sandra and I, my wife, when we set our landscape construction and horticultural consultancy business up, we won the first award of merit, and it was for Cumberland Hospital. And we were in the early stages of construction of the hospital, and we had D7s and D8s there. So we had the whole site, massive acreage, ripped up to be able to plant melaleucas, leucodendrons, before they started putting in the curb and guttering and the parks. That now looks like, and people assume that it was an original forest. It was only 1982, but it looks like an original forest of trees. And the melaleucas are heaving up the bitumen, and it's really great to see. They're really making their claim to that bit of real estate. So it's, as I said, an enormous honour to receive this. Thank you. I was asked in an interview recently up here when I was filming, you're about to go to a wonderful botanic garden here in Coffs Harbour. While you're there, watch out for the kangaroo fox because it's pretty nasty, and they drop out of trees and cause all sorts of damage, so be very careful. But I know the team will be looking after you tomorrow. But the kangaroo fox is a pretty dangerous sort of critter, and only found in the botanic gardens here in Coffs Harbour. But I was asked when do you expect to retire? Bob Rogers left radio at 84 and died at 87. So I'll hang around a little bit longer, even if it's just to remain alive. I've got another year at Better Homes, and whilst we're getting 1.4 million viewers every Friday, they'll very likely keep us there and keep the program on air. I would stress one aspect of media, if I could. Media has this artificial split between the ABC and commercial television. Whether it's 7, 9 or 10, it doesn't matter. But in fact, we're all in the same business, and that is to try to drive interest into gardening, interest into organic gardening, interest into horticulture, interest into landscaping, interest in putting down a deck and planting some trees. And that's what the Institute's aim was down at MIFCUS this year, and the funding that you received for this event. But we're both working with the same groups of people, 25, 26 million people, and we're all trying to get them all. We had the highest increase in our country's history since 1788 during COVID. The highest increase of gardeners. It went from about 4.5 million to 9.2 million Australians gardening. Over 9 million Australians were gardening. Now they're starting to shed back because they were new, and a lot of plants that were purchased weren't the right season. It was, you know, they were buying summer tomatoes, and in fact it was already well into March and April. So the industry didn't cope all that well, but eventually it did. And I managed to get David Littleproud to include, for the first time ever, when they were shutting down the whole country, I asked him on air without any notice of the question, can you please include garden centres along with petrol stations, hotels and supermarkets? And he said yes. And that was on the Saturday, and by Monday legislation had been expanded to include garden centres. That's why we suddenly had this massive increase of home gardening. So they are out there, and a lot of people are saying, oh, the industry's down this and the industry's up and it's down, it's mediocre. The Australians are out there. We just need to talk to them. We just need to communicate to them. And the Institute can do that. The Institute and its members can do that. And it's a great challenge, I think, to pick up where we lost a little bit after COVID, after the pandemic. Still teaching, you see, it doesn't get out of your blood. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for this award.
That brings us to our break. Big congratulations to our three Life AIH Fellowship recipients, to John, to Stuart, to Graham. Big congratulations. Thank you for all that you do. Equally, Evan and Amanda, as you set off, you know, what a wonderful moment for you to hear from three and connect with three people that have been here for a long, long time doing incredible things. Lisa, Bob, Lee, Graham, Lawrence, Tanya, to all the recipients so far, big congratulations. We're going to go to a break now, and then we'll come back with, we've got about another 9 or 10 awards to get through. No, I won't say to get through, to celebrate. So enjoy some food, enjoy another drink, and catch up with our award winners at this point and congratulate them and have a yarn. We'll be back in 15 minutes.